Welcome to this masterclass from The Banker in association with Epam Systems. Today, we're looking at the findings from Epam's recent Consumer Banking Report, which surveyed over 21,000 global banking customers about their relationships with financial institutions and services. In this third section, I will be sitting down with Panos Archondakis, Global Head, Banking and Wealth Management at Epam, where we will be discussing what it means to have access to financial services everywhere as ubiquitous banking comes of age. Hello, Panos, how are you?
Hi, Liz, I'm good.
Very good. So the industry talks a lot about personalization. What role does that have in the ubiquitous nature of banking right at the moment?
Well, let's start by thinking about what ubiquitous actually means. And in this context, we're referring to the taking banking services and really submerging them into other environments that consumers are interacting with. So as daily life becomes more and more digitally enabled and people are doing everything online and through their mobile devices, taking banking services and seamlessly embedding them into other activities that consumers are doing, whether it's a retail or lifestyle or any other service that they might be consuming, putting the banking service there at the point of use and rather than being a direct interaction with a bank via an app or any other channel. Mm-hmm. That's really what we mean by ubiquitous. Now, as consumers really engage more and more with digital services in their daily life, personalization has become a key part of the provision of digital services generally outside of banking as well. So if you take the banking environment and you try to embed it in these services, which are already highly personalized and targeted, and retailers don't want consumers to drop off throughout whatever process or journey they're going through, it becomes necessary to personalize the banking services as well so that they are enabled to operate in this digital personalized environment. So there's a heavy link between personalization and the enablement of these digital services, and that's what we mean by our personalization in ubiquitous.
Interesting,
banking.
yeah. I'm going to bring in social media and big tech. You know, the Google, the Facebook that everyone talks about. You know, what role do they play in this?
Well, let's start with big tech, and I think the role here is very clear to see in that as they have grown, as they've introduced cloud services, this is the enabler of the provision of digital services generally, and including banking services as well. In addition, obviously, the digital platforms, the mobile platforms that we're all interacting with daily are provided by these large technology organizations, and that really has been the fundamental enabler of this whole ecosystem. Mm-hmm. The social media firms, however, are a little bit more nuanced, and while all of us interact with social media on a daily basis throughout the day almost, and we're very familiar with interacting with various types of service providers, our research tells us that consumers are a little bit wary of using the social media platform itself as a bank. Mm-hmm. So while you might be willing to interact with your bank over social media, for the social media organization to be the bank is a very different proposition in consumers' minds. This leads us to a few insights from that, and the first is that as an established bank, as a financial services organization trying to get your service out to the consumer, there is a strong appetite to interact with the bank over social media, so that is a natural step for banks to use to get services in front of their consumers. But for the social media organizations, it's obviously not so easy. We look to APAC as well as a real yardstick for how this could evolve, and this was where we've seen growth of really integrated services, one-stop shops almost, where you can interact with everything to do with your daily life via one application. However, that's also being limited or constrained a little bit now as we've seen the evolution of the regulatory environment in China particularly impacting that. So I think we need to very much wait and see how this evolves in other global markets and whether similar patterns will be followed.
So that whole WeChat model in China, where it's a social network and a banking network and a payments network, you don't see that possibly right at the moment evolving in Western countries in the same way?
I think that it could. It definitely could. But the appetite for for consumers to really put all of their data in one place. There have been some very high-profile breaches and missteps, even by social media organizations, and this has impacted on consumers' appetite for it. So I think that while convenience is always a factor, and that really does make life a lot easier when everything is in one place and fully integrated and easy to use, the data aspects and the wariness of consumers may be a constraining factor.
It all comes down to trust. Excellent. Panos, thank you very much.
Thank you.